Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a bracelet today, and I'm going to use some of the beads I got in my most recent Beebeecraft order. In case you're not familiar, Beebeecraft is an online craft supply store. They have lots of beads and bindings and jewelry making supplies. If you have a channel and you have at least 100 subscribers, you can apply to be in their YouTube program and get products and do videos for them. I'll post a link in the description box below to that program in case you're interested. They offer free shipping for orders over $25. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa10, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the Beebeecraft homepage. The coupon code will save you 10% off your order if you make an order with them. I'm going to be making a herringbone bracelet today with these Half Tila beads. I had a lady request that I do a herringbone bracelet with Half Tilas, so that's why I got these. These are the ones I got from Beebeecraft. The color on these they're Miyuki, and the color on these are Ivory Pearl Ceylon. They've got more than this color, and I meant to order 2 different colors, and I guess I ordered wrong because I ended up with a tube of these and then a tube of full Tila beads that I'll have to use in something else later. So I got these out of my stash to use with these. These are Miyuki Metallic Gold Iris is the color on these. And I'm going to be using my Miyuki Duracoat Galvanized Champagne 11/0 seed beads. I've got a toggle clasp, a couple of wire guardians, and a couple of 8/0 Miyuki Duracoat Galvanized Champagne seed beads that I'm going to use at the clasp area. I've got a size 11 beading needle, and I'm using my 8-pound fire line and smoke. I'm going to be using my chain nose pliers to flatten the thread so I can get it through the needle, and then I'll be using my chain nose pliers, my bent chain nose pliers, to put my clasp on at the end, and I'll be using my cutters to cut my scissors to cut my fire line. I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below. So hold on, I'll get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads poured out here, and I switched my mat out to a blue one, hoping y'all could see these beads better against it. I've got my needle threaded, and I've got a stop bead, and I'm leaving about a 12-inch tail, so I'll have enough to sew my clasp on later. Now, the Tila beads and the Half Tila beads, and I am likely to say Tila a whole lot today when I mean to say Half Tila, so just know if I say Tila, I'm meaning to say Half Tila. They're a little bit different on each side. One side is a little raised, and the other side is flatter. I can barely tell the difference even in person here, so I don't ever bother worrying about which way I'm picking them up. If you want to pick them up so that one side is facing up and the other side is facing up, down, you can. I just don't ever do that. I just pick them up randomly. I don't think anybody's ever going to notice. And I'm going to start mine with 4 Tilas across. So I'm going to do my dark ones on the outside and my 2 light ones on the inside. You can do it ever how many across you want to. You can do 3, 4, 5, ever how wide you want your bracelet to be. But I'm going to start with 4. Of course, you can do any kind of colors you want. You can do it all in one color if you want to. You can do color blocking if you want to. You can use things other than Half Tilas. I've done it with Super Duos, those 2-hole brick beads, the 2-hole bar beads. I'm sure there's lots of others you can do it with. I don't really think a diamond duo or a gem duo would work because of the way the hole is going through them and the way they're shaped. But I'm sure there's others that I've not tried that you can do it with. But I'm going to start out with 2 11/0s, one of my dark Half Tilas, 2 more 11/0s, one of my light ones, 2 more 11/0s, one of my light ones, 2 more 11/0s, one of my dark ones. And that's it. I'm done for this row. So that's what I've got so far. Now, like most bead weaving projects, the first part of this is the fiddliest and the hardest, because you need to keep good tension so that you don't show any thread, but you don't want to pull too tight, because if you do, that stop bead your thread could pull through that stop bead, and it's just kind of awkward doing this first part because of the way that you have to make the beads land. But once you get the first few rows of this in, it's just super easy. So first I'm going to pick up 2 11-ohs, and I'm going to go through the whole of this half tila that I've not been through yet. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-oh and the color of the tila I'm coming out of. And I'm going to go through these into these 2 11-ohs down here. Hold my finger over it and pull my thread through. And I need to make sure my tila lands, my half tila lands there. With the hole, the empty hole up, so that they're like that against each other. Now I'm going to go into the empty hole of this lighter colored half tila. Try to get it wrapped from around my finger here. Now I'm going to pull it tight there. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-oh, the color of the half tila I'm coming out of. I'm going to go into these 2 11-ohs, and if I can while I'm at it, I'm going to go on up into that empty hole of that next half tila. You don't have to do it all at once, but you can if you want to. I'm going to pull this down, make sure my tila, half tila turns over there and lands like that. And pick up an 11-oh, the color of the half tila I'm coming out of. I'm going to go into these 2 11-ohs, and while I'm at it, if I can, I'm going to go up into that empty hole of the next one. I don't think I can, so I'm just going to do it one at a time this time. I'm going to go into these 2 11-ohs. Make sure my tila lands like that. Now I'm going to go into the empty hole of this half tila. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-oh, the half tila, the color of the half tila I'm coming out of. And I'm going to these last 2 11-ohs here. Of course, I don't have a half tila to go in down here, so I'm just going to go into these last 2 11-ohs. Make sure my tila lands like I need it to, and they're all flopped around and everything down here, but they need to be, the ones you just put in need to be all with their holes, the empty holes sticking up like that. And I know that's weird and curved, and it looks like it's not going to be a bracelet, but it is. So hold on just a minute. I might have to get a drink of water. I think I've got a frog in my throat or something. I'll be back. Okay, so this is where I am now. Now I'm going to flip it over because I like to sew away from me. It's easier for me to sew away from me. So now, down here, I'm going to go back up into the empty hole of this half tila without any beads on my needle. Just going to go up into that hole. I'm going to move my stop bead out of the way here. And that decorates up the outside of this side of my bracelet. Now, I'm going to pick up an 11-oh, the color of the half tila I'm coming out of. I'm going to go into this 1 11-oh here and the empty hole of that ivory colored one. You don't want to go into this half tila down in here because you've already got both those holes filled up anyway, and that's not the one you want to be going in. You want to go in to the 11-oh and that next empty hole of the neck of the half tila. Pull my thread through, and they'll land better in this row because like I said, that first row is the hardest one. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of. I'm going to go into this 11-0 and skip this one down in here, this half Tila down in here, go into the empty hole of the next one there. Pull my thread through. And pull it up tight. See, it's beginning to straighten things up there now. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of. Go into this 11-0 and the empty hole of the next half Tila there, not the one down in here, but the next one. Pull my thread through. Flip the Tila around there like it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the half Tila I'm coming out of. I'm going to go into this 11-0 here. I don't have another half Tila to go in down here, so I'm just going into this 11-0. Pull that in there like that. So now see, everything's straightening up better now. Now I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to flip it up here so that the hole of the half Tila is sticking up, the empty hole. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0 and I'm going to go into the empty hole of this half Tila. Now this is where it's going to be easier now. So I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the half Tila I'm coming out of. I'm going to go into this 11-0 and up into the empty hole of that half Tila. Make sure it lands in there like it's supposed to. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of. Go into this 11-0 and the empty hole of the next half Tila. See, that just popped in there easy that time. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of, go into the next 11-0, and up into the empty hole of the next half Tila. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the half Tila I'm coming out of, go into the next 11-0, and I don't have another half Tila to go into, so I'm just going into the 11-0 down here. Now I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, go up into the empty hole of this half Tila. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of. Go into this 11-0 and the empty hole of this half Tila. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of. Go into this 11-0 and the empty hole of this half Tila. Pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of, go into this 11-0 and the empty hole of the next half Tila. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of, go into this last 11-0 here. I'm going to flip it over. Pick up an 11-0, go up into the empty hole of this half Tila. So that's all you're going to do all the way. I'm going to do one more row with you, and then I'll do the rest of it off camera. And once you get the first few rows in and you get to the where it's easy, it works up pretty quickly. So I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the half Tila I'm coming out of, go into the 11-0, and the next half Tila, the empty hole of the next half Tila. I'll pick up an 11-0, color of the half Tila I'm coming out of, go into the next 11-0, and the empty hole of the next half Tila. Now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of, go into the next 11-0, and the empty hole of the next half Tila. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the color of the half Tila I'm coming out of, and go into this last 11-0 down here. Now I'm going to flip it over, pick up an 11-0, go into the empty hole of this half Tila on the end here. And now I'm just going to keep doing this until I get the length that I want, and then I'll be back and we'll put the wire guardian on. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my length now, and I'm going to put this side of my wire guardian on. I already did this side because I wanted to try and figure out how much room my clasp and all that was going to take up. So this was the side that had my stop bead thread on it, and I took it off and did it already. So now I'm coming out to here where I put on my last half Tila. I'm going to pick up an 11-0 and I'm going to put into the empty hole just like I've been doing. And now instead of picking up an 11-0 and a half Tila, I'm just going to pick up an 11-0 and go into this 11-0 and up into that next half Tila to make this end look like this end where I started. I'm going to do that again, another 11-0 into the next 11-0 and up into the empty hole of that half Tila. And another 11-0 into this 11-0 and up into the hole of that empty hole of that half Tila. And now I'm going to flip it around here and go pick up another 11-0 and go into this 11-0. So this end looks like the end I started with. Now I need to sew around until I'm coming out. I want to be coming out this half Tila in this direction. That way. So I'm just going to sew around until I get over there. So I'm going to go down into this half Tila and up the other hole of it, and don't get my thread caught around that little 11-0. Now I'm going to just sew down this one and into this one, just trying to get around here where I need to be. Sew into this one, up into that one, sew down into this one and down into this one. And you don't have to sew through exactly the same beads I'm sewing through. I'm just trying to make my way to where I need to be. Ever how you can get there is fine. So down into this one and into this one. Sew up into this one, into this one, I might go up I'll go up this one this way. The bottom hole of this one here. I'm going to go down into this 11-0. And up into this Half Tila, which is the one I want to be coming out of. Now I'm going to pick up, I've got my 8-0 and my wire guardian here. I'm going to pick up two 11-0s, my 8-0, and my wire guardian. Go up one channel of my wire guardian. I'm going to go down the other channel of my wire guardian, back into my 8-0. Hold my finger over the wire guardian so that the thread lands in the channel, and I guess I should have zoomed in before I started this. Now I'm going to pick up two more 11-0s. And I'm going to go into this Half Tila like that. Now I'm going to sew around until I'm coming back out either this one this way or this one this way so that I can reinforce my clasp. So I'm going to go down these two. I'm going to go back into this one. I'm going to go up the other hole of this one. I go up the hole of this one because I think this would be the shortest way. I go up this 11-0 because I'm coming out between those two 11-0s. Go back into this Half Tila. I'll go back up my two 11-0s, my 8-0, and my wire guardian. Back down the other channel of my wire guardian, back into the 8-0. Hold on to my wire guardian so the thread lands in the channel. Go down the other two 11-0s on the other side. Back into that Half Tila. Now I'm going to sew around again until I'm coming out one of those that I need in the direction I need to be coming out of it to reinforce my clasp one more time. I'm going to go down this one. Go up this one and through that next Tila. Or Half Tila. Go this way down through this one. Like I said when I was making my way across, whichever how you can get over there is fine. Just try to go through the beads where you're not showing any thread. I'll go up this one, into this one. I'm going to go into this 11-0. Back into this Half Tila. And now I'm going to sew around all that again. And then I'm going to end off my thread. And this is very tightly woven, just kind of like peyote or brick stitch. It's kind of hard to get half-hitch knots between these beads because they're so tight together. So I just weave back and forth and lock my thread in like I do with peyote, and then cut it off. I don't do half-hitch knots because it's just it's a really tightly woven stitch, so you don't really need to do half hitch knots, and it's kind of hard to get them in there anyway. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll put my clasp on, and when I come back, we'll see what I've got. So I'll be back. Okay, so there's my Half Tila Herringbone Bracelet, and I forgot when I did my materials list and all that to get out some jump rings to attach my clasp with. I didn't have any jump rings out to attach my clasp with. That's kind of a necessary thing. So I had to get those out. But there it is. It's not hard at all. The first few rows are kind of difficult, but once you get past those, it's super easy, and it works up pretty quickly. Let me put it together and show it to you. Of course, like I said, you can make it as wide or as narrow as you want to. And you can do all kinds of patterns. You can just do some like color blocking, or you can do it all in one color. You could do I started out with 4. You could do 4 different colors of Tilas if you want to, just whatever you want to do. And it's the way it's woven, and it's so tightly woven, it feels good against your skin. It's nice and flat. Feels good against the skin. So, like I said, if you all decide to, I'll put links in the description box below to everything I've used, as many as I could find links for. And if you all decide to make an order from Beebeecraft, that coupon code will save you 10% off your order. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.